We would walk for miles just finding bush tucker and things like that, you know. We were happy, you know. We had food to eat, we had a roof over our heads. We played together, you know, and we were quite happy. You know, but it's a wonderful feeling and it feels like I'm home, you know.
Simpsons Gap was a very pretty place. It was like home to us. We really enjoyed the camping out there. Yeah, we made up swags of all types, like a bit of tarpaulin and blankets. After we'd have a service with Sister Eileen, we were allowed to walk around in the hills and do our thing, like looking for bush tucker and stuff. And some of the big girls would make dampers in the sand, in the hot ashes. And we really got stuck into those dampers. And there was plenty of tea to drink. We had better feed away from St. Mary's home than while we was out bush.
So they grabbed every half-caste they could find around here. And the easiest place they could find us is this place here. This is where all the half-caste kids would come to school too. And they'd grab them and take them straight to St. Mary's.
Some were taken to Balaclava. You may have heard of old ladies talking about Balaclava. They were taken to homes there. Some were sent to Sydney, Balgoa, Penrith. Government, the policy of that day, of that time. So in some families, there may be 3-4 generations. I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about the stolen generation. I'm very passionate about the bungalow. And a lot of them are now nearly all gone. And I tell my children to tell their children's children. It's something I pass on, and it's something that's very dear to my heart.
When the government took the children from their families, they said they were taking them to a better place to improve their lifestyle. And it was the government's thought rather than the children or the parents or the people that they took it from. It was disastrous, the effects. Some people have overcome that. Some people have been able to make that experience work for themselves, but there's many that didn't.
The Strello Research Centre, aside from the archival collections, it also houses some men's secret sacred objects. However, these are all locked away in a vault downstairs, in a climate-controlled vault, and none of that material is on display. In the museum there are some photographs, a small number of photographs of people that have passed away. For those of you that might feel some distress at seeing some of those, I thought I'd let you know. At the first point of contact, when someone comes in and says, I'd like to find out if you have any information about my family, we ask them to fill out, or we'll fill out these details, and so obviously that's information such as place of birth, country, that refers to people's conception sites, skin names and totems, if people know that information.
It's wonderful, because we don't have that. When we meet one another here, Aboriginal people are always saying, who's your mother, who's your father, We do a link up in a sense. But there's nothing set down on paper.
This one's 38 pages long. There's hundreds, if not over 1,000 names on this single family tree.
And I'm trying to encourage people now to do their family trees. And we do it ourselves because there's a lot of confusion. But back there, researchers were pretty thorough.
A lot of them were collected at the bungalow between 1955 and 1967.
They documented the language And through that language, they were able to put the right names down.
He'd also developed his own orthographic system for recording, the way that Aranda is spoken. So hence the accents and so on some of the letters.
I find it difficult linguistically to read something, but if someone was to explain it, I'd be happy, because they made sure they had the right pronunciation with that linguist skill that they have. And I think that's a wonderful thing if they've done that. And I don't feel so bad about them now, but I still feel that they can't own it. I still believe that they should say to the Aboriginal people, this is yours, and we will, hand it back to you.
The Alice Springs Memorial Cemetery. We could go there and look for their graves, and a lot of them were unmarked, but there was a caretaker who had his catalogue, and you could go through his catalogue and find out where your friends or relatives were buried, because there's a lot of unmarked graves. 18, I think it was.
And here we have today Shorty. He's a curator, cemetery curator for the entire Alice Springs. He knows his place very well, and he's worked very hard and very fastidiously to get the crosses in the right place and to know where they are and all that sort of thing.
My job was to find each and every one of the 18 so they are where they should be, and quite a few of those sites, there's one over here, when we were actually looking for the right spot, it was actually under the sand. There was a little plate there with the person's name on it.
Well, I've got a list.
And of course I wanted to see some relatives. I found 3 and another friend, Albert Namandjira's grave. I know where his grave is. When I go to Alice Springs, I often go and visit that grave.
I've double checked everything, and the boys have put the crosses up for you, and now it's time to sort of put some wreaths there and say good day. And
those who went out to visit the graves were given the wreaths to place on those unmarked graves. Yes. And we'd all show our respect to those people. Had a minute's silence, remembering those who have passed on.
Well, it's good, my daughter and my grandson here.
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
With their great-grandfather.
Most of the people that come to us have relatives here. There's a lot of old ladies who are out in the bush, and they're often looking. They've come into town usually in the 50s or 60s with a sick little one, and then they've been at the hospital, and then they're sent home, and at the time it's never been explained what's happened. So there's confusion, and then they'll be coming to us, and trying to find out, was that little one taken somewhere? That's when it becomes very handy, to have the records that we've got as well, to try and find out where the kids are buried and stuff. Okay, well, on behalf of Central Australian Stolen Generations, we'd like to thank Alice Springs Town Council, and also to thank you as well for your help.